All right, so here's the deal. You guys have been following me for a little bit, and you already know. Been having some issues with my service cart lately. Not necessarily ones that hinder me from being able to perform my job or do what it is that I have to do to get the job done, but it is very frustrating, to say the least. Also, it's getting a little bit full. Not to mention I have most of the tools that I would call specialty tools that I would love to have at work, have no room for, and the others already have copies of, which is fine. But every once in a while, one of those tools breaks down, and we need another one. And who do they turn to? Anyone else in the shop that possibly has one. The downside is that I live like 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away from work. So I can't necessarily just take off time from work, run home, grab the tool, turn around, come back. It's going to be like a 30-minute trip. So that doesn't really help things. And because we've been pushing to try to get as much work as we possibly can get done in a day or during a week as we possibly can, because we've had a lot of customers lately and business is booming and you can't, just stop. So I've been putting in a lot of late nights as a result. And I don't mind doing that. I really don't mind, because I'm helping out friends, colleagues, people that I work with, try to get the work done to retain customers, because those customers are bringing us business, and that business is what's getting me paid. So I have no problem with doing that. So I was thinking about upgrading, or at least getting a toolbox specifically for the shop. Now I do have this Cornwall toolbox that we've been parched on here for a little while that has been phenomenal. It's a 9-drawer. Nothing too outrageous or crazy. It was a little bit costly, to say the least. But you know what? It's found a home here at my house, which allows me the ability of being able to work on my own cars out front with little to no glitch. I've also got my original Craftsman toolbox that my dad gave back to me, but I had some problems with that. The overall depth, if you will, of the toolbox drawers are about 18 inches or so. The overall depth of the entirety of the surface of the toolbox is about 19 inches. Anything that's about 19 inches, and this is from my experience, that gets top heavy or you overload with sockets, has a tendency to flip over onto its ass and just dump shit everywhere and fuck shit up. I've got a few drawers that actually had that happen to. Now maybe most of it was my fault. I had opened up 2 drawers to grab a couple different things, and I had opened up the top drawer, which was my socket drawer and my ratchet drawer, that's where I kept everything, to grab a ratchet or whatever, turn around and go just to do a routine brake job. What I didn't know was that I was on a slope, or somewhat of a slope, and the top drawer on this cabinetry was slowly rolling out, and because I had it bolted down, the whole thing came toppling on over, and sockets, tools, everything else everywhere. It damaged like 3 or 4 drawers. It damaged some glides. It made it to where I couldn't lock the box anymore. And I had, like you guys tell me all the time, it's not the toolbox. Toolbox is just for storage. It's the tools that you have to get the job done. Yeah, well, that's the route that I went. I went with a cheaper box, and I went and I spent a bunch of money on tools. Expensive tools, Snap-on, Mac, Cornwall, Matco, Craftsman, etc. And now I had no way of being able to lock any of it. And I was at a dealership where I didn't trust anybody at the time. I had barely just started there, so that was the last thing that I was trying to deal with, especially climbing out of a divorce. So what did I do? I ended up juggling through several toolboxes, which I've already posted a video on, of every toolbox and service cart I've ever owned up to this current date. So now recently I'm in a position now where I would like to have certain specialty tools and some other diagnostic stuff, mechanical diagnostic stuff at work on standby or in hand, which would make life a lot easier for me and the guys that I work with. That being said, I've started to start hunting for toolboxes. So I started looking at other ones. I looked at Sunex, I've looked at Homac. Homac was I was almost dead set on Homac, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty that's not a bad deal, that's a pretty decent box, etc. But let me check out Harbor Freight, let me think what I got going on here. Now I haven't bought the box yet, this is where I need you guys. Okay, but I have watched at least a half a dozen, if not a dozen reviews, and I found 3 in particular that were very, very realistic, very honest with as far as their opinion. I'm going to share all their channels with you, and I'm going to put links down in the description to those channels. But their honesty, their opinion, the things that they dealt with along the way with these specific boxes, accessories, or attachments is what is going to help me or aid me into making my decision. And I've always told you guys, do your due diligence. Make sure you're doing as much research as you possibly can. YouTube is a beautiful thing. That being said, I got the catalog from Harbor Freight with the liquidation sale. I've also got a little coupon here for a deal on one of the specific toolboxes that I happen to be looking at. But let's cover something here. So with the 5-drawer service cart, which I'm not looking for a service cart, but so far, no right-of-way issues outside of the fact that if you have a professional series pry bar set, say Matco, Snap-on, Cornwell, or Mac, the pry bars are too tall for the depth that you're allowed on the top portion, so you cannot close the lid. So that might be an issue. The other issue is that there's not really like enough space for tools to, like if you're going to grow. If you're trying to grow into a toolbox, there's not much room to grow. There's not a lot of space in there. For instance, you take one of these sorta tool, I can't pull it out right away. You take one of these sorta tool wrench organizers as an example, and you put this into one of those drawers, and you've got a full drawer. That's it. So that's drawer number 1. And you literally have just enough room to put one entire wrench set, and that's if your wrenches will actually fit in that drawer. The organizer definitely will, but the wrenches might not fit in the sorta tool tray. So now you have to figure out how to decide what goes in what drawer. Is everything going to be loosely tossed, etc., etc. You put one screwdriver set in there. Again, let me get up real for a second. You put one screwdriver set in there and you have the nice little foam pad thing. Guess what? Drawer's full. It's full. So now you've taken up 2 drawers out of a 5-drawer cart. You put all your sockets, maybe you put some ratchets and whatnot in the top, and you're still left with a few drawers. It's just not enough space to really grow into. Okay, talking about the 26-inch service cart. I'll throw a card up here if I can. That we gave away to the community college. So far, no issues, except for the fact that the drawers are a little bit narrow, and of course putting the add-ons on would help as a bonus. But no issues for that 26-inch single bank, extra deep service cart. I would call it a service cart, upper and lower. Everyone seems to love it. Going over to the 44. Now this is the one that I was kind of leaning on, but I was like, after seeing it in person, and I'll see if I can't throw a little video clip or a picture down here in the corner. After seeing it in person, I was like, man, the drawers are just a little bit narrower than I would have liked. Like if I took, for instance, this is what I'm thinking. This is all the stuff that I'm thinking about as I'm going into this. But let me show you. If I was to take the 75-piece set, Matco set, this is too tall for any of the drawers for the most part until you get down to the bottom. So now I'm limited as to where it is exactly that I can put that. So that was a little bit off-putting, and I was like, okay, well, it still has some pretty decent, drawers. The amount of drawers is there. The color options is there. As we all know, if you've been following Dobey or the Den of Tools, they have now started to do all colors in every single box that they sell. Problem with that is that you have to special order anything other than red and black for the most part. Sometimes you get lucky and they have blue. My Harbor Freight does not have blue in stock. You have to special order that as well. The only 2 toolboxes that they have from 44-inch up is black and red. I'm not opposed to black. I don't care for red. I would like to have maybe possibly a yellow or a green or an orange or even the Mopar blue. I'm not dead set on one specific color. I'd like to possibly bring back the Bumblebee, but then again, I am a Mopar guy. I really like the Mopar blue. And again, I'm also a realist. And I like the black because you can't see the grease stains and everything else, especially if you're working on diesels all the fucking time like I am. 6.0, man, I've been working on a lot of those. So, a lot of things to think about. I'd love to have the extreme green again, which I've had a long time ago. I'm trying to think, not so much in the past, but on the future. I've never owned a bright orange box. A lot of guys in the shop have the small block Chevy vintage orange, extreme orange box, whatever you want to call it. And I thought maybe I might just get that because everybody else has got orange and everybody can look the same. I don't know, just something I was thinking about. But what are some of the defects or issues with that? So I guess the sliding mechanisms in the drawers don't work as well. And again, it's got a lot of thin drawers. So I was watching the Ranch Mechanic, and I'll put his link down in the description. And he was saying that using some, was it Lucas silicone spray or what have you, he was able to spray a lot of the double roller glides. Even though it makes a big mess, he tends to have a lot better luck with the sliding. It slides smoother. So that's an easy fix. Other than that, no issues. Pretty good box for the most part outside of the fact that it's got narrow drawers. All right, so I started to decide. I was like, okay, well, maybe I might look at the 56-inch. You know, 56-inch looks pretty reasonable, and it looks like it's got some pretty good depth as far as the drawers and width. So let's take a look at that. All right, so, man, I saw this one guy was Matt Dobey. Okay, is the Harbor Freight 56-inch toolbox worth it? He was saying that, look, he had some rivet issues with one of the glides not being fully riveted to the box. We had to drill it out and re-rivet it. He had the tabs that were sticking up that needed to be smashed in or hammered in a little bit more. So he took a piece of wood and a hammer to smash them more true to the fact in order for them to close. And then when we went to go close one of the drawers, it wouldn't fully set in, so it wouldn't fully close. So we had to remove the entire drawer, use a die grinder, and clean up the edges and make it a little bit wider so the drawer would close. I was like, man, that's an awful lot of goddamn issues for the 56-inch bottom piece, and he just ordered it. Good God. We haven't even got to the other colors yet. All right, we're going to talk about the top half here. Now, the top half, so they're saying it's 56-inch by 22, double bank, etc. Well, the top half, now I saw this from somebody. They were, what was his name? Just That Guy was saying that he had issues with not only shipping, but the actual top portion of the chest itself. Not only did it come pre-dented and there was blemishes and things like that, and it wasn't smooth, and the drawers didn't open very well. He said it was actually 22 and a half, and he had purchased the bottom 72-inch series, which was 22 and 1/4. So the actual top chest, the 56-inch top chest, because they don't make a top chest for the 76, the top chest for the 56 was actually a little bit deeper than the bottom chest. So now it overhangs a little bit on the top, except for that big dent that he's got there. So that was an issue. He also said that the hinges or the drawers squeak. What else? Measurements were not square, so we took a square to try to square it up. They weren't square. There was like 3/16 of a gap all along the middle. It was like a boat. You know, it was boated out. It was crazy. Also, you have to special order the blue, the green, the orange, the yellow. 56-inch special order blue, green, yellow. And black, I think, because I didn't have a black one in stock at my Harbor Freight. Maybe they do for yours. As far as the 44-inch, you have to special order the yellow, the orange, the green, and the blue. They have the red and black in hand. As far as the 26-inch, they had the red, the black, the blue, special order orange, yellow, green. As far as the carts go, the 5 carts, all colors were on hand. So I guess that's a plus for the 5-drawer cart. The lock sticks. So on the 72-inch, if you were to slide the lock over and open it, it sticks. It doesn't really like fully unlatch or latch. So that might be an issue. There was just a lot of issues. So what I saw was with the bigger the box, the more issues you had. which sucks because I was really leaning on the 56 inch. I really was liking the amount of drawers that it had, the spacing that it had. It seemed like it would work out perfect for me. But with there being a lot less issues with the 44 inch, I'm kind of torn at this point. So what's my overall goal? My overall goal is to get the bottom cabinet, the top cabinet, the side locker, and possibly the side drawer cabinet. So let's talk about the end cabinet. So the end cabinet, again, special order blue, green, orange, yellow. They have red and black in stock. $200. And it's actually 15¼ inch if you include the tabs that slide over the bottom cabinet. The other part was around 14¼ 14½ as it states. The 16-inch end locker. So this was another thing. So I saw this again on the Ranch Mechanic. He had an issue with the hinging, which I went down to Harbor Freight to check out for myself. Same exact issue. There's a popping. So if you go to swing it open, the hinges pop and it's not like it doesn't open as smoothly. So mechanic Mike told him to flip it over. And then he took the Lucas silicone spray and whatever and sprayed the hinges. No more issue. So I don't know if that's a permanent fix, but it's definitely a notorious problem with the end cabinets or end lockers for the specific toolbox, which are $200. So I'm like, okay, so that's something to think about too. I got to keep that in the back of my head. I don't know if I'm going to have all the same problems that everybody else had with this setup. So right now I'm trying to justify spending $750 for the bottom portion and then come back and spend $470 for the top, which you can get coupons for. So let's talk about coupons real briefly. So there are coupons available, which Andrew the mechanic stated that he got his toolbox for $999 for the 72-inch bottom portion chest. Again, no top portion for that. Side locker should mount up as well as the extra end cabinet. The 56-inch, so coupon $700. You can get it for $700. Right now there's a coupon for the 44-inch. You can get it for $449. That's the coupon for that. No coupon for the 26-inch, and sometimes there's a coupon for $199 for the 5-drawer or $189 for the 5-drawer. So there are coupons for multiple boxes that they have in here. Haven't really found one for the 26-inch yet. So that's kind of some pricing details on that. So what is it that I'm exactly going to go with? Well, here's the issue. Depending on what I decide, and right now I can either do like all black, get it right now, or I can order my yellow or my orange or my green and get it 2.5 weeks from now. But I got to pay it up front, and then hopefully everything's good. That's the gamble. So right now I'm trying to decide between the 44 and the 56. I think as far as drawer spacement is concerned, the 56 is where it's at. I think as far as like all the reviews that I've seen, the 44-inch is the way to go. But you guys let me know. It's a decision that I'm trying to make this weekend. So the more answers to this question that I have of which one I should go with, the more beneficial it'll be for me. Thanks as always for watching. I appreciate your feedback. Cheers to those of you that have your beers during my dilemma. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you guys next time.